Aljamain Sterling wants to put one of his biggest regrets behind him, losing the bantamweight title to Sean O'Malley at UFC 292. But with recent clips from the documentary Fight Inc. circulating, Sterling is reliving those emotions again. In the doc, Chief Business Officer Hunter Campbell asked Sterling to take the O'Malley fight just weeks after defeating Henry
Fight, Aljo.
Cejudo.
You don't have to fight. I'm not forcing you to fight. So you got to decide what you want to do. And whatever you decide, I'm cool with.
So I guess where I sit is it kind of puts me in a bad light where it's like, this guy can't get out of his own way and he kind of ruining things. And I'm like, I don't get that thought process of doing that to someone who's always done whatever was asked for him to do.
But I can tell you, you're at your peak. You've looked incredible.
I know we've seen the video circulating all over the social media interwebs, conversation between myself, my management, and Hunter. I wasn't really excited to see that clip again because I had to relive all those emotions again. Kind of riled me up a little bit because it really did piss me off in that moment of time back then. And I know the whole narrative of can't get out of my own way, I don't do myself any services when I get to social media and whatnot. But I think it's hard for people to hate on someone it should be hard for people to hate on someone who speaks the truth. You know, I'm not speaking no one else's truths. I'm not trying to sway the fans in any one way. I just give the facts and let people make their own decision based on that. And with that said, from that night, I said, I don't know what he's talking about. I have no desire to fight right now. And that was the whole thing I was saying. I have to heal up and see how my body holds up. We can fast forward. Yes, I came into the fight compromised and to the training camp.
That's an interesting video to see when it comes to making the fight, when it comes to putting the fight together. And when you look at the end result, Aljo loses the fight. And now we're seeing all of this stuff. Champ, I'm going to come to you first on this because obviously you've been involved in matchmaking and sometimes maybe you're not ready, but you still take the fight. We know how bold you get when it comes to taking fights on short notice. You've proved that to everybody. But what's the mindset when you don't really want to fight, but the promotion is really throwing fights at you and wanting to get you to help the company out sometimes, if it comes across like that?
It's a tough one, to be honest. It's a tough one because it's either like I said, it's either you all in or not, but at the end of the day, it's business. If it makes sense, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's always down for business, and but you got to sit down with your team. Obviously, you got to sit down with your team before you make any rash decisions. What's good for your career? But I have a good relationship with EFC, so we always sit down and speak what's good for us, what's a best next move for us. So, yeah, it's a tough one.
McDane, I mean, we look at the video there. To me, it's almost like they rubbed his ego a little bit, told him how good he is, how on fire he is, and the man said, "Boy,
is gaslight." Yeah,
well, I was gonna leave you to run with that. You know what I mean? But yes, it's always like this stroking, gaslighting him. But he was open with that. I said, "Boy, I'll say how my body holds up." There's a lot of fighters that maybe said, "I don't feel right to fight this fight. I want to be at close to 100% before jumping in the cage with our opponent of this caliber, especially where there's something like the title at stake."
Well, I like what Terence said there. You go back and speak to your team because Aljo's manager and what came across in that clip that was released said jack shit. He had no word to be said. Like, come on, like you should be sticking up for your fighter, even if you don't think it's right. You're his manager at the end of the day. He shouldn't be having to deal with most of this bullshit. He should be doing the negotiation pieces and saying what's right, and then talking to Aljo about it, or allowing Aljo to speak to him about it and try and defend him a little bit more. it's a shit situation. There's many layers into these contracts and into the way that they want to go about it. And obviously, you've then got your pay-per-view, and you need your matchmaking and everything that goes into it, the storylines, the lot. I mean, all in the background that we don't know about. But from the clip that was released, all I could think was, it's like an abusive relationship. You know what I mean? It's like they gave him a backhand, like they pimp slapped him, and then was like, "No, come here, baby, it's okay. You're all good. You're all good." Then they slapped him again. "No, step out of line, motherfucker." And like, "Oh no, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. You know what I mean? Come over here. Come sit down next to me. You're all good." Then they slapped him again. Like, honestly, man, I was just like, they just gaslit that dude into that fight. But if he said no, what would they have done? Would they have made him go and relinquish the belt? Would they have made it an interim belt? Would they have
You know what?
anything else for a
We're seeing it right now, though. We're seeing it right now with Driggs Duplessis. He said, "No, they're going to turn around and fight at 300."
But this relates back to the same shit as what we spoke about last week, maybe the week before, where it's if your face fits, because then you look at what they're doing with John Jones. Oh, it's cool, man. He can just
take all the time you want in the world. Yep.
No worries, brother. No worries, brother. And there's even some clips in that fucking thing. I've actually got it on the TV here now, fighting. There's even some things in there between John Jones and Dana White and Mick Maynard as well. Like it's, I don't know. It comes across as shady. It doesn't look good for them. And like I say, gaslit and abusive relationship is how it came across. Thank you, Trevor.
It's a crazy part of the industry, right? It's a crazy part of because every industry got some dark arts that they use to at least try and maneuver and get what they want. Whether in this part with matchmaking or even PEDs or doing extra stunts to maybe getting a spy in somebody's camp and watching the sparring, whatever. There's some dark arts that people, the industry has always used.
Even within your own team, though, because a lot of these fighters have it set up with their manager. You got to have a solid team around you because the manager's getting a percentage when you fight. So if you're asking your manager, "Do you reckon I should take this fight?" And he's like, "I need a new fucking hot tub out the back."
It's why O'Malley sacked his manager. O'Malley sacked his manager and said, "Boy, I don't know what that motherfucker does. You know what I mean? He don't do shit for me, man. And he fucking fired him."
It's paramount to have a solid team around you. I think that is the most crucial thing.
I mean, I also let me just drop this. I also want to say nobody will try that with Ali Abdelaziz. Let me just drop that in there. You man already know. There's no way his fighter's gonna sit there telling them, "Boy, my body ain't holding up," and the manager just sits there quiet and just let them man their fucking gaslight him into taking a fucking fight he doesn't want to take. Yao, I want to come to you on this, Yao. I mean, you look at that situation there, and I feel for these fighters because some of them you still have to be a company man when they need you, right? Even if your body is not really holding it, you still gotta be a company man and try and help out the promotion. But then again, we've seen with selective politics, as Jordan rightly brought up with John Jones, where certain man can take time off and the promotion, like, "Yeah, we'll wait till your body can hold up." And then Aljamain here is telling them, "Boy, I don't know if my body can hold up," and they're telling him he's on the fucking roll. Help us out, brother.
Life is about relationships. Let me get a bit philosophical. It's about relationships. And unfortunately, we all know that Aljamain's relationship with the UFC is not the best, with Dana specifically is not the best. And this was it coming to nest again, unfortunately for him, where, like you said, DDP can say, "Listen, I'm not ready. I'm not going to fight at 300. I don't care if it's a huge headline event. It's not happening." We have John Jones, who's now on an extended absence as a champion. So it's all about relationships as a fighter. So I think the message there is just make sure you keep your relationships good and you'll be good. Whether you're a company person or not, that's a thin line, but keep it good. Otherwise you end up in this situation where you're forced to fight for a title against someone as dangerous as Sean O'Malley and then end up losing the title simply because the relationship wasn't there for them to understand that it was not the right time for you. So I agree with him about being coerced, but at the end of the day, somehow you have to make sure that you make it happen for you in a way that makes sense.
Leroy,
Yeah,
I was going to finish with you on this topic, and you can bring that point up in a minute. But don't you think maybe I'm just thinking too deep into this, right? But I have a feeling Aljo and Merab not wanting to fight for the title has a lot to do with this. Please,
Yeah.
Leroy.
I agree. I think that's a huge. I think it's a huge part of it. Aljo is. I know so many people who hate him, and then I ask them, why don't you like him, and they really can't tell you why. A lot of people. I think his fighting style is awesome, but that's just me personally. I guess.
How we won the title against Yan is a big factor too. Just to let you know.
That's true. That's true. But then they did the rematch, and I mean, there's people that argue that Yan won the rematch, but I don't see it. I watched that fight back. I don't
Who
see
the
it that
fuck
way.
are those people?
Oh, I know, right? It was pretty one-sided. Yeah, I guess it really comes down to what Yao was saying. Is like you got to keep the company on side. I don't think they have a hand in the outcomes, but they definitely have a hand on the scale and how they want things to go. And naturally, you would want Sean O'Malley to be the champion because he's more fan friendly. Like he brings more people in. More people means more dollars.
100%.
Just like everybody's a Triple B fan, he's headed to the UFC one way or another.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be on standby for that now. We ain't going nowhere, man. You know,
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind when that happens.
We're gonna be on standby for that, 100%. Yeah, big up everybody, all 83 of you watching live right now. Salute to all of you. Please come on over to YouTube and help the guys out with their YouTube channel. Come over to the Rambling That Podcast, Head Kick Podcast. Go show some love over there. Make sure you're jumping over to the Fight Week show as well. The links are in the description. Make sure you're jumping over and showing some love. Come and engage in the chat as well, people, as we're dropping some of these topics that's been going on during the week in the MMA world. Okay, Leroy, easy. Looks like he's gonna dance. Pin the click, brother.
If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget we do our Dust Off Shakedown every Wednesday, 9 p.m. UK time. Don't miss it.